So first is your introduction.
Okay.
Comfortable.
Namaste. My name is Ujjwal Kumar Shrestha. I'm Panchakanya Group Co-Executive Director. Panchakanya Group is a 49-year-old industrial house. We have diversified business. Our core business is building materials, energy. We do a bit of trading of automotives. We also are into financial sector as an investor, and we are trying to diversify furthermore. But our core business is building materials.
Ujjwal ji, यो अहिले हाम्रो industry there is an industry academia gap. So why do you think the gap exists over there?
I think when I think of the gap, I think of myself first. As a young person, when I was growing up and choosing my career of education or choosing my choice of education, हाम्रो बेला के भन्थ्यो भने science, humanities, arts and commerce भन्थ्यो हैन. So at that time only there was a lot of confusion because we didn't know what to do. It was either peer pressure, it was family pressure. There were hardly choices by yourself. It was all your peer influenced. Right? So that has today created, I feel, what we study and what we apply is two different aspects. That's one major gap I see, because what applicants we get, the education background to the job requirement is not met most of the time. Sometimes we do get a good applicant. Or could say, I think the curriculum that we are taught in school even today, is it really relevant to our country, our culture, or the industry need, or the corporations that work today in Nepal? Do they what they want in that education system? So that there is a big disconnect with the institutions, academia, and also I think our faculties, teachers who are they exposed to industries? Do they know the business world very well, or are they more theoretical based education is one concern where the gap is still there. Because today, 21st century time, I think we should be more focusing on practical based than theory based, because it's costing both ends. Because the students are paying for education while the industries and institutes of business are looking for the right person and have to additionally invest for the new recruits, the new joinees, to understand the work, the culture, the requirement of a company. So there is a gap, and we hope that this gap can be somehow curtailed, because I see there are changes coming around. And हाम्रो education system, Western system of guidance भयो पनि, work culture in Nepal is not Western. It's not westernized. So हाम्रो workspace, work culture, work practices हरु पनि बुझ्नु पर्ने हुन्छ.
उज्जवल जी, यो अब जस्तो जब रोलमा जब छिर्छौं, जब अप्लाई गर्छ हैन, एउटा चाहिँ असेसमेन्टले कतिको सेल्फ असेसमेन्ट or an assessment based on the job description that is provided by the company, त्यो एउटाले अनि त्यो जबको बारेमा स्पेसिफिक भनौं न प्रायर इन्फर्मेसन पायो, ट्रेनिङ पायो भने चाहिँ is it going to help close that gap?
The gap between technical and non-technical. In technical, it's less. Why? Because they have they go through practical knowledge than theory based only. Technical, just for example, हाम्रो factory requirement we BIT होला, different technical institutions, but a certain basic qualification भएपछि they get a priority on entry in technical. The issue is the non-technical side. Given there's a job description also, there's seldom freshers meeting the requirement of job description. Fresher भनेको नयाँ fresh pass out collegeहरुको हैन. We expect them to go around to various corporations and in years understand the ropes of sales, marketing, administration, HR, whatever may be. That's the non-technical side, and that's where the big gap is. It's not the technical side. I think industries haruma technically things are getting better. There are specific engineers or even say specific accounting, or IT specialists specific भयो, But in a general thing of sales and administration and HR, these factors, the gap is increasing, and I think the job description does define to a certain extent, but the academic education, they are still fresh in their mind to understand the work culture of today's Nepali companies.
And this is the final question. So initiatives like Skill Lab or other companies your gap close गर्न कतिको help हुन सक्छ? How do you think that will happen?
I think industries and education institution has had talks in the past. I'm sure we've also have interacted with various institutions, but not been able to concretely come to a conclusion where the disconnect and where the interaction is supposed to be, or where curriculum designing aspect ma hamro inputs there's a big gap. We will need companies like Skill Lab to really understand what is there, how corporate, how industry works today in Nepalco context, and should be able to bring and see where the disconnect really is. And I think companies like Skill Lab will be able to bridge the gap, but by bridging the gap, I think the institute themselves have to come together and design a curriculum, be involved in this, because it is going to benefit all of us. How industries today, companies today have to invest on the new fresh students recruited, because we have to put them in the training, grooming, everything, and companies themselves do not have a proper structure in induction. That's another problem. So students expect I graduate from so and so and are ready to join companies, but when they join a company, they are very lost because companies also do not have a structure. So त्यो gap लाई fulfill गर्ने भनेको, I think companies like Skill Lab stepping up, taking time, understanding it, rather than being a hiring company, more of skill based say gap bhaइरहेछ, because I think there's every year so many pass outs happening from colleges, तर उहाँहरुको त्यो commerce mass, business study mass भन्ने एउटा group छ, and to really pluck out of it is for a company, for example for us, if somebody is fresh, we look at do they really need a job? We look at the family background. Do they really need a job? Are they really comfortable people? One. Second, how diligent or hardworking is this person? How sincere is it? How is the attitude like? So those are the areas where we are applying our selection process if they do not have experience. So given this big vacuum in the entire industry, find the right skills भन्ने एक ठाउँमा होला, where the academic think that we have the right skill in our students भन्नेलाई चाहिँ bringing it together. I think Skill Lab, what you are thinking and doing, you need to work extra hard, and I think we all have to come together to make this work for us, because it's a benefit for all of us in this time.
Thank you so much.
All right.